Welcome back to this week's Real Country File. I'm in the telehandler. We've got some tractors behind us with festive lights on, and I'm currently sitting in here because it's warm, and I've been trying to scrape ice off the yard because it's our charity tractor run this afternoon, and there's still lots of ice about, especially where the police are going to park their motorbikes. So fingers crossed it'll melt and turn to rain later and it'll be gone. But for the time being, I'm just chipping some ice off. Anyway, coming up on this week's Real Country File, Stephen visits Damien Pinder in Lancashire. Well, part 2 of visiting Damien Pinder in Lancashire. And Angela has been talking to Duncan Priestner about the poultry job. So over to Stephen first.
So Damien, we've come back down to the farm here, and a bit different. This building's a bit different.
It is. It's a polytunnel. Not an ordinary polytunnel. We've jacked it up by a metre. It's just over 15 foot to the centre ridge. We've put Yorkshire boarding all the way around it, loads of airflow, and cows are immensely happy in here. This would be the 4th season I think we've had cows in here. They love it. Yeah, it's great.
So we've been up there in the fields. We've talked about the different aspects of your building. Of your farming. What are we doing here then? What's the source of income here?
So these are our suckler cows. The animals that you see here are this year's calves. These were all born from February to May. These will grow on now for probably the next 9-10 months, and then we'll sell them as store cattle. And then the cows that you can see just a bit further down the building, there are suckler cows in there as well.
Right.
So yeah.
So your farm's already made up of different elements, isn't it? And
yep.
Haylage is another big one.
We do, yeah. We sell probably about 1,200 bales of haylage every year. That's been a growing thing that's been going on for probably 3 or 4 years now.
And how's price of that at minute? Is it?
Yeah, prices are up. Our plastic, just unbelievable. It's gone from, I think last year we were paying £59 a roll for our plastic for wrapper, and this year we paid 92.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, quite a sizable chunk.
So that's going to be passed on, of course.
We can pass it on.
Yeah.
You can only pass some of it on. They'll only pay so much for it, and then of course we've got diesel and everything else, price of machinery, everything else has just gone through the roof.
Who are you selling haylage to around here?
So we sell a lot of it into the equestrian market.
Right.
We do sell to farmers as well, but the bulk of it will go into the equestrian market.
And I've no idea, because I've never been out to do equestrian other than getting out road of horses.
Yep.
What's price of a bale of haylage?
Bale of haylage, roughly 60 quid.
Right, okay. And is that compared to 3 years ago? Is that up or down?
That's up.
It's up.
3 years ago we'd be charging 35 or 40 quid.
All right, okay.
So yeah, it's up considerably.
And is there plenty of it about, or is it?
There is round here.
Right.
There's no shortage round here.
Right.
But I think if you just get a bit further down south, past Cheshire, I think it starts to become a little bit more scarce then.
So we've seen the beef, we've seen the haylage, we've been up in the fields. There's one more bit of the business to have a look at, isn't there?
One more bit of the business to have a look at.
Let's go and have a see.
No problem.
So Damien, we've come down to the back of the farmhouse now, and the main part of your business, really, now.
It is. This is the main part of our business. We deliver milk throughout East Lancashire with 5 milk rounds. 3 go out on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. 2 of them go out on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. It's the main part of our business.
How many houses are you delivering to? Is that trade secret?
No, it's not trade secret. Roughly about 1,600.
Wow.
Yeah.
So doing what, 2,000 pints? Are you more? Or?
No, more than that.
More?
Yeah, we'll be doing more than that. I don't exactly know how many pints of milk we'll be delivering, but it's more than that. Yeah.
Now I come to speak to you previously, and you were saying just what a good do in terms of numbers the lockdown was for business, because people rediscovered the milkman.
Absolutely. COVID was really good to us, really, and in sometimes a little not embarrassing, but I hesitate a little bit to tell people, because it was such an horrendous time for Britain, but we did really well out of it, along with other milkmen as well. It like you say, it reinvented the milkman. It reminded people that we are actually there to put food on the doorstep. They don't need to go over the doorstep. They can have it delivered. And lots of them have stuck with us.
Right, so they've stayed with you.
Lots of them have, yeah. I mean, we have lost some, obviously. But lots of them have stuck with us. And our business is carry on growing.
And what is it you've got when you go out with vans? What are you, just milk and what else?
So we do milk, cheese, orange juice, butter, potatoes, milkshakes.
Okay.
We do all sorts. We don't do bread. We do bread, but only to a nursing home that we take.
Right.
We don't put bread on doorstep.
No.
It's not really what we don't think it's good for at the time of day we're delivering.
So when do you start? That's the next question. When do you start milk?
So I were out last night just after 10 o'clock, and I got back in here this morning at 10 to 8. So I've done a day's work before we start.
You certainly get to see the other side of the towns, don't you?
Yeah, we do. I mean, we're regular ringing police if we see something that doesn't look right. It's a good part of neighbourhood watch, as I call it.
Well, I've said that I've had a milkman over 20 years. You know my milkman. Yeah. Andrew had a lot of time for him. And if you do see anything, or it is eyes and ears. It is. But I'm really glad to hear that the business, the milkman business, is really going well. Yeah. And I look forward to coming and seeing you sat in a combine harvester.
Oh God. Yeah,
and see what the results are.
Covered in oil, maybe,
of the experiment. But thank you for your time this week on the Real Country Farm.
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you.
Good luck, by the way.
Thank you.
Thanks for that, Stephen. Now I'm still in here with the heater on. Over to Angela now, where she's been catching up with Duncan Priestner, who does a lot of egg packing and different things. So here's Angela's report this week.
So I've come today into the warmth of a beautiful farmhouse here. Can't believe this Arga is actually radiating so much lovely heat. But I'm here with Duncan Priestner, who is a poultry farmer, and we're just on the border between Greater Manchester and Cheshire. So Duncan, just give us a flavour. What have you got on this farm here? What's the setup?
Right, thank you, Andrew. Yeah, obviously eggs are in the news all the time at the moment for various reasons. But we are an egg producer here, and we're a wholesaler. So usually we produce eggs on the farm, and also we market it, we package them, and we deliver them to local shops, to wholesalers, to other farmers in the northwest area. So on this farm itself, we have around about 120,000 hens. We actually have a rearing site as well, where we rear the hens that come to this farm, and at 16 weeks we move them into this farm. Hopefully by about 19 weeks they start laying eggs, and we keep them for around about a year, and then they get moved on for processing.
Okay. And so you've been doing this job for decades, obviously. So, and I'm sure you've seen many changes throughout that time. But is now the most tricky time that you think you've had to work through, or historically has there been sort of serious issues that have been just as bad?
No, I think at the moment we're in probably the worst situation. Just a lot of it has come from Brexit. Didn't help farming. It didn't help the poultry industry really because of staffing issues. We then had COVID. So on top of that, then we've had probably the Ukraine crisis has also hit certainly poultry farming really badly, and that is on various ways. The biggest one is feed costs. It put a massive amount onto our cost of production, as well as packaging. Packaging is probably possibly by now, nearly doubled in price.
And then generally, obviously, you talk to other poultry farmers and so on. What's the mood like across the industry?
Well, I think the move from free-range people, I mean, we haven't even talked about bird flu yet, and that is another huge big issue, and that's why we said is it a bad time? It's a bad time financially. It's been a very bad time for a lot of other people. I think some of these egg producers probably never lost money in the past. Eggs was always deemed, because it doesn't get any government grants, it doesn't get any EU grants, it stands on its own, and it's actually always been classed as quite a safe bet. If you build a chicken shed, even though they are incredibly expensive, your average free-range chicken shed would be between £1.5 million. So there's a huge investment in there with big paybacks. But it was deemed to it was quite a good, you could actually pay it back, and you weren't worried about what's going to happen to farm subsidies. But I think that those people it has been a very, very bad time. They're not used to losing money. And
will there be people going out of the industry, do you think, in the next?
I think there will be. If people have paid the sheds off, I think people will go out. Some people probably can't afford to go out because the sheds, they've still got to pay a lot of money off on the sheds. But I think a lot of people have already paid the sheds off, will sit there and say, do you know what, actually, you know, it's just not worth the risk carrying on.
So if somebody put you in charge of the poultry industry across the country, would there be anything that you would drastically change straight away, or anything you think? Yeah,
well, the thing that people really want to do, and if people have got a good memory, they'll remember back to the days of fowl pest, or it's actually Newcastle disease. And I was talking to some older farmers who were saying that used to be another notifiable disease. There's not many poultry notifiable diseases, but bird avian influenza is one, and Newcastle disease is the other one. And when we got that one, we used to have outbreaks and used to slaughter all the birds like they do with bird flu. If we got it, all our birds would get slaughtered. And they actually developed a vaccine for it, which we now all vaccinate. And really the word Newcastle disease, I mean, you know, we still vaccinate now to this day in the rearing birds. We give them 2 or 3 vaccinations, and I often wonder why we do it, because I've never in my lifetime I have Newcastle disease, but at one time, huge amounts of the whole national flock had to be slaughtered because of that. So I think the whole thing is that vaccination is the way that people want to go. So we're trying to get government to put more money into the research of getting vaccination sorted out. Or if all birds, I mean, it's a question of how often do you have to vaccinate them, when do you vaccinate them? Yeah, it's not just a simple thing, but I think that is really the way that in the future we'd like to do.
Yeah, so to get that as quickly as possible underway is going to be very, very helpful.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Let's just have a look down at the farmyard and see what's happening there as well.
Yeah, no problem at all.
Great. Right, so this is the, the grading section?
Yeah, this is the egg grading section. So the eggs are coming off an automatic conveyor out of the poultry sheds. We collect eggs every single day, as I said before. And what we have 2 people here that are pre-candling the eggs and take any leakers, badly broken eggs, very obvious defects will be taken out manually before the egg grader itself will then do the bulk of it. Yeah, these are obviously the egg trays that wholesalers buy them on. We then have pre-packs again, which you'll more likely see in the shops. You can pack them those as well. So every customer will have something different, and we just pack according to what the customer wants.
Well, thanks very much to Duncan and the team for showing me around the farm today. It certainly highlighted to me the different processes and issues that it all takes to get an egg on my plate in the morning.
Well, from eggs to turkeys. It's the week before Christmas, and I don't know about you, but I will be dining on a turkey for my Christmas dinner. So we've actually been sent in a video from Fiona Wilshaw from Bates Farm, who's just going to give us a bit of an overview of how she would dress a turkey and what involvement they've had in terms of selling turkeys direct from their farmyard to the general public.
Good morning, my name is Fiona Wilshaw and I'm from Bates Farm. We are a mixed farm of beef, sheep, arable, and we also do pumpkins for Halloween, and at the moment we're doing turkeys for Christmas. So it's a busy time of year on the farm because we do around 1,300 birds. They've all been plucked last week and we've just started dressing yesterday, so we'll be carrying on with that today and we're going to show you the process. So it's been a bit of a tricky week because the minus degrees have just caused a lot of our water troughs to freeze up, which we've been able to get most of them defrosted, but then a lot of the time we've also been having to carry water to calves and the older cattle that just can't get any. So it's been busy and tiring, but we're getting there. Hello, so we're now at the turkey dressing area. So we dress all of our turkeys in here as a team of maybe 10 in total. So I've got my turkey here, that's long leg. So this is what will be the breast when it's butched out, and then the legs get tucked in, and we'll show you all of that. But at the way it is now, it weighs 7.5 kilos. But once it's dressed, it loses some of the weight, so it'll be between 6 and 7 kilos, and then we price them up per bird. So this order is actually going to Milkmaids in Bolton, and they are a family farm that are diversified. They used to be a farm shop, but they now sell ice cream, and they sell our turkey at Christmas time too. So I'm just starting by taking the bottom of the legs off and then just make it a bit easier for myself. So now I'm taking out the neck and just folding all that back. Already. So, as part of the turkey, you get some giblets with it in a separate bag, and that includes the neck, a gizzard, which is basically the turkey's stomach, but it has a lot of muscle in terms of meat, and then we also have a heart and the liver too. So this is the turkey's trachea or windpipe.
Okay, so we've just turned the bird over and I'm just making a little hole around the bum and then one just at the bottom of the breast, and this is just so that we can now fold it open and we'll be able to get inside a little bit easier. So what we roll out just now is the gizzard and the liver, which we can use for the giblets. The heart just popped out then, and we're just keeping everything clean inside. So when we're around the table doing this together, one person does this stage up until now and then it's passed on. So then somebody else will be doing this stage, which is called trussing up. So you basically tie it up with string to make sure it looks neat and tidy and it's just a bit more presentable for the customer. So we've got the string nice and tight and then we just tie it up together. This is a little bit quicker than usual. So then the wings just neatly tuck back and the legs pop into the hole that we just made earlier. And then we also finish it off by tucking in the parson's nose. So you can see the bits that I pulled out to the left, they're made into giblets by somebody else around the table, just so that it's nice and efficient and we've got different steps to the process.
So that was a whistle-stop tour of how we process our birds at Bates Farm, and we actually have a small number still available if you'd like one for this Christmas, either 3 to 4 kilos or 4 to 5 kilos. Have a look on our website www.batesfarm.co.uk if you'd like to order one. So it's really cool the way that we've changed our business model over the past 70 years. So we started by doing lots of bulk orders for butchers, around 90% of orders were for butchers, and we were doing over 2,500 turkeys, whereas now we've scaled back and we sell more turkeys to the public from the farm gate, and around 70% of our turkeys now go as individual birds. And we also sell veg boxes alongside them. So my sister and I started that about 10 or 11 years ago. So there's lots that we do from the farm. As in all other poultry industries and agriculture at the moment, turkeys are suffering from bird flu. So we really do feel for all of the flocks that have just been lost overnight from such a tragic virus. We've managed to stay clear this year, and the financial loss is very intense for those who lose out, but there's also knock-on effects in terms of customers ordering quite a lot quite sooner. So we'd sold up 3 weeks to Christmas and we couldn't take any more orders because we just didn't know what turkeys we had and of what size. So it's just a mad rush. So we do actually have a couple left if anybody is still interested. Thank you all for watching.
All the tractors now are arriving for the tractor run. There's going to be 110 arriving here today. Hopefully by the time you've watched this video you can actually flick across and see all this happening live on my channel, which is Olly Blogs, and you might see it on national news as well because we've got a newsreader coming to have a go as well. Just going to go and show you this tractor here, which that's their corn. Yeah, I can show you. I didn't want to spoil anyone's surprise. But you may see this tractor in the tractor run and you can find out the story all about it. Probably on next week's episode is probably the best. Like I say, I don't want to completely spoil a surprise for someone, but it's the Jubilee tractor, Massey Ferguson Jubilee tractor. That's going to be taking part in the event as well. But yeah, thanks for watching this week's Real Country File. As ever, if you've got any stories, let us know. We have got you a Christmas special as well coming up next week. So if you made it this far, click like, and we'll see you all next week.